Interesting. What's up, Expert Virus? How's it going, man?
What would it look like if Coda wanted to make a game about talking to someone other than himself?
These games are dark.
To me, this environment is meant to represent Coda's puzzle, with the two doors on either side and a dark transitional space between.
Well, my goodness. I'm glad as all heck that you showed up. Thought I might be having to clean this entire house all by myself. And right miserable that would have been. Everyone knows lonesome hands make lousy homes.
The quality of the art is a step up from previous games, including this new and improved chat system, which he started using from this point on. From here on out, he begins putting much more effort into the visual polish of his work, and this particular game took 2 months to create as a result.
We cleaning this whole place? That's the story, little one. Oh, don't you worry now. We'll be through this mess in no time. I promise you'll wish there was more. Why don't I finish up here? In the meantime, could you please clear the table? Much nicer. That's the table I want to see. Now would you please run into the bedroom and make the bed? Okay. I don't see why not. This place is a mess. Make the bed. While you're in there, why don't you straighten out the rug a little bit? All the little details matter. Do you enjoy being a house cleaner? How'd you end up doing this job? It's been a long time since I've seen a house this messy. How'd you end up doing this job? A friend dragged me along at a time when I was particularly desperate for cash. Turns out I've never felt so good doing something for money in my whole life. Never did I like cleaning my own home. I might have gotten some demons I ain't ready to face yet. Oh, speaking of demons, someone put this couch all in a mess. Would you come out here and straighten these pillows? Oh dear. Looks like someone spilled a drink over by the couch. Maybe mop that up, as long as you're over there. You know, you don't seem to be doing any work, Mr. Cleanhead. Oh, here it is. Feel compelled to share an incredibly cheesy personal insight. You okay with that? Yeah, I'll try to get by. No, it's stupid. Sorry. Never mind. Hey, these dishes need to be washed. Why don't you come do that? Last I checked, the tub needed a cleaning. How about you scrub it down as best you can? No need to be perfect. We're all just human. Scrub the tub. Are there still books scattered on the floor of the bedroom? If so, would you put them back on the shelf? Oof, that would take forever. Perfect. Now then, how about you come clear these dishes off the table?
After the intense set of prison games, this house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing. It's the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful.
Do these chores ever end? Darling, let me tell you something. Whatever work you do, you absolutely have got to own it. Otherwise it owns you. So why don't we be with the task at hand and leave these future chores to future you?
I really like this game. Of all of his work, actually, this was the only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and look at it. This was during a period of a few months where he was like grossly happy all the time, just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
Present You wants to smooth out the rug in the bedroom, believe it or not. Trust me on this one. Looks like the tub has gotten rather dirty. Would you mind tidying up a bit? Earlier when I said I had a really cheesy thought, I was going to say that it occurs to me that one's house is a lot like one's soul. You take care of it and it takes care of you. Don't know why I still felt so weird about saying that. I get it. It's a weird thing to say to someone you just met. Anyway, so, housekeeping. Let's keep doing this. Books, would you please clean up the books? Thanks. Oh goodness, those pillows over on the couch are a real mess.
I'm glad he made this. I'm glad he found some peace.
Would you go over and straighten them up a bit? Can't have these folks coming home to such a messy couch. Question.
But
Do you
of
enjoy
course,
this?
It can't last. The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave. The door at the top of the hill is now open as well. Again, you can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive. Which is the whole point of the puzzle doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move. I really thought that was the point of it. This one gets a bit goofy.
Why did you come here today? Was it to improve your life? Was it to get a better job? Was it to make your relationships more meaningful? No. No. You came here to be perfect. This workshop is going to teach you how to be perfect. I want your friends, the people in your life, to look at you and think, wow, this person is a better human being than I am. Right now, who do you think about it that way in your own life? Who do you know is so well developed as a person that they make you feel disgusted with yourself, compared to whom you feel useless, selfish, ungrateful? I intend to make you into that person. Perfection is within your grasp. And the question is not how do we do it, but how do we do it effortlessly? This is easy. It is so easy.
About halfway through the game,
It is so easy.
perspective shifts.
Being perfect is effortless. This is the key.
And you
How do I
play
achieve it
as
with
the
no
teacher.
effort?
And suddenly, you discover that your teacher is just as bigoted and afraid as you are. Oh, and also you can move around the classroom now.
Hahaha, just kidding. Holy shit, you guys. Something's coming out of the back room. Look out! Everyone run, run!
I felt pretty hard for this one. I feel like it's one of the most relatable experiences that you can have. To assume that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way, and completely miss all of the little flaws that make them painfully human. I think about this game a lot these days.
All the little screams in the background. Ah! Woo!
This one took a lot longer than all the others for Coda to make. It was 4 months between this and the last one. That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this, and it's not like it's particularly complex, so I remember I found that a little strange at the time.
Alright, the performance is beginning. Places, please. In this scene, you will be playing as me. We are at a gathering of professionals. First, you'll start out leaning against this wall. Good. Stay right there. The woman across from this room in this chair is a professional photographer of animals. It's your dream to photograph animals professionally. This is your one chance to learn something from her, to gain something, to succeed. Go on. Say something to her. Where's the bathroom? What are you doing? You're deflecting. You're not saying what's actually on your mind. Stop dancing around it and have a conversation with this person. Do it again. I'm super scared right now. I like you. Here are all my hopes and dreams. No. It's not what I said to tell her at all. You're completely missing the tone of the conversation. I was reserved, but I knew what I wanted. I was confident. For some reason, it was just that one moment, but I was confident. Maybe it's that you need a better feeling of the setting. There were a lot of people around us. I'll give you some props to work with. These cones that bounce when you touch them will represent people nearby. Now, talk to her again. You must have worked really hard to get where you are. I'll bet you've learned to lean into the pain. What are some sacrifices you've had to make? You're messing it all up again. You'll freak her out if the conversation gets that personal that quickly. Do you not realize how important this was for me? I'll never get another opportunity like this again. Everything was riding on this. I want to try something. Try stepping back from the stage. How far back? Okay, yes, now this is working. This is what it was like.
Eerie premonition of what's going to happen next in Coda's life. The solution to social anxiety, to fears of having to perform and having to chase success, the answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away. Which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago, where it just becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating. He just keeps backing away from possible connections to anyone other than himself. And to be honest, I didn't consider it very healthy when I first played this game. You know, it looked to me like he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from the world. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his games. Because I feel like a lot of his games are inviting me to connect with this person, to bring him closer. But what can you do? After this, Coda went off and took another 5 months to make a new game.
Mobius Strip. Everyone play along with me, I suppose. To play this game properly, you must keep your eyes closed. Click to begin the game. Alright? I'm going to close my eyes. How do you... I have no idea what's going on right now. Oh. Did I lose?
You should probably open your eyes if you haven't already. It's pretty much impossible to solve otherwise.
Oh.
And there is a solution, by the way.
Oh. Oh. Help, I'm blind. I have no idea where we are. Oh, we're gonna crash into this thing. Alright. Hell if I can't see anything. We have to push a button, I'm sure of it. Oh, is this a door? Are these doors? Truth. The only way to stop it is if he speaks something honest. I can't keep making these. Yes, that's it. That's the truth. I don't feel it anymore. I'm out of ideas. It's draining me.
Like I said, I was getting concerned. First off, he's never been this explicit in his work about exactly what he's thinking. So where's that coming from? But then even weirder, his work has potentially stopped being an outlet for him. Not like he's having trouble iterating on ideas, but he literally just can't think of new ideas anymore. And in person, he was being a lot more distant than usual. Like, you know how sometimes a person will just deflect anything that you say in order to keep themselves disconnected all the time? It was that kind of thing. Here was the point in my relationship with Coda where I really started to wonder if he needed my help in some way. His games are going to get more desperate from here on out. After this game, it's almost 6 months before he finishes something new.
It's very interesting. Hello. Where am I? What is this? Where did this island come from? How do we get out of here? Hello, is anyone there? Is that a person? How lovely. It's been a long time since I've talked to anyone. What's wrong? You look lost. I'm completely out of ideas. When I try to create, I feel empty. I have nothing left to give to my work. Oh no. What's happened? Did something change? There was a machine that kept me going and it stopped. I'm trying to find this engine that used to protect me, to start it again. Wait, you're looking for a machine? I think I know where it is. It's not far. What? You have to take me to it. I need to see it, to know why it stopped. I can take you to it, but
if the last
there's a
game
problem.
featured Coda talking explicitly about his creative frustrations, this one turns it up to 11. Now, put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even. And yet, still, he keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore. Why? What is it for?
It's guarded by a difficult puzzle. If you can help me solve the puzzle, we'll find the machine. Deal? Deal. Deal. Doesn't matter what I say, does it? We're gonna end up there one way or another, right? I hit 3, by the way. Deal. Perfect. Come along. I'll show it to you.
Because from my perspective at the time, and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet, and so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on.
First you have to open the door. Okay, now what? Now you have to close the first door. Now you have to open the first door. Now you press the switch on the inside. Now you have to close the first door. Alright, what's next? Now press the switch here. That was so simple.
You can't talk yourself out of
I can't believe I never
loneliness.
solved this before.
It doesn't work that way. You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation. If all of your anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
What are you talking about? There's no machine here. These are just words on some walls. Trust me, you'll see. You have to say that your work is fun and easy. You have to say that Game development is simple and joyous, and that you love it 100% of the time. Alright, making games is effortless. Ah, that feels wonderful. But it wasn't true. Why did the walls just crumble? Why did I feel so awful when I said that? Don't worry about it, just keep talking. Keep saying that creation is easy. When I make games, I feel completely energized. I am constantly excited and enthusiastic about my work. It is easy. It never stops being easy. Yes, that's wonderful. Keep going.
Seeing this game at the time that he made it, it looked really unhealthy to me. I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like, video games are not worth this amount of suffering. This is someone I really cared about. And I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me.
It always pays off eventually. Yes, more.
This is what I felt at the time.
Keep going.
I don't know how else to explain it. I wanted it to stop more than anything. I had never felt so rotten. I needed more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop.
Incredible, that's it. I'm free. I'm free.
But it didn't stop. After finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
The machine. Ma'am, glad to see you've arrived safely. We've captured the machine. It's waiting for you now. You can begin the interrogation whenever you like. I intend to be quick, quiet, and brutal. Very good. Just be warned that someone called the press, so we might have a bit of attention on this one. Also, one more thing that you should know about the machine. It calls itself Coda. What will you do with it? How did you capture the machine? What is the machine? Will the machine ever explain itself? Have you got a minute? Will we get to see the machine? Please, give us answers. Where is the machine now?
And of course, it's the machine.
You've stopped. You've stopped feeding us. Those people out there, can you imagine what pain you've put them through? It was only because of your creations that any of us could make it through every day. How could we possibly go back to trusting you, to do this job? How about this for a start? You need to get to the people who are out there and apologize to them. You have to admit to the people that you allowed them to suffer. I've been so alone. No? Nothing? Think carefully. I know how to hurt you. I have seen the thing you fear. Alright then. I will speak to them for you. My followers. It falls on me to deliver bad news. The machine will not apologize to us. But this is not important. We are stronger than it thinks we are. Let us pay it retribution. Follow me. We will destroy the machine. Coda, I'll make sure your work dies here. Isn't that what you're scared of? Having to live without your precious creations? Having to deal with yourself?
So now the work is becoming self-destructive. And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that Code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games. It might get him out of isolation. And so, as I'm thinking this, I realize that I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for him? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work?
Oh man, not this room. Oh.
So I started showing Coda's work to people. I took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games. You know, the point of it all was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
Put down your weapon.
Can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do? Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need, to be told that my work is good, that I am good. When someone really connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something... I really felt like I'd done something good, like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem. When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy. So beautifully, beautifully happy. So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look.
The Tower.
And this is where I have trouble saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, the tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game.
And dark. Also very dark. This looks like a building.
This room actually has a maze in it.
Oh,
Except
man.
that all the walls of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise, so the experience is really miserable. The game goes beyond not being meant to be played, it actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all. But I do want to show you the rest of the levels, so when you're ready to continue, press enter and I'll put a bridge over the maze. And to be fair, it's not like this is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning game. You know, that one used to actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned a house forever. I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end. But that game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate. What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze? The only way past this challenge is to randomly guess the 6-digit code. Like the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me, because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me, except a lot of my time. If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him, but I couldn't. I still don't really understand why this is here. I'll put the code on the ground for you here, though, so that we can move on.
Oh, I was close. Sound in this level is really creepy.
The switch to open this door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges, and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress. And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, you know, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem. I feel like a failure, I guess, when I can't fix the problem. But I can open this door for you, so let me do that.
I was close. I was close, Masa. I was.
Was I a failure for not understanding this game? I mean, I don't know why I would be. It's not like everything needs to have a solution, but I feel it somehow. I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why. I remember, it's June of 2011, I'm playing this for the very first time, and as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is. It wasn't the guy I knew, it wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them... I had been trying to, though, that was the thing. For years I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't.
Those 3 dots are everywhere.
I just felt so strongly that if I could have connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy. It was that I needed to see myself in someone else. I needed to be someone other than me. But he stopped and left, and it felt somehow like I had failed. Where did I screw up?
Dear Davey,
I'm the reason that you stopped making games, aren't I?
thank you for your interest in my games.
It's because of what I did.
I need you to ask you not to speak to me anymore.
don't think I ever told you this, but when I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt... it felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable.
I wonder at times whether you think I am making these games for you.
And the people who played them, they treated me like I was important. They really listened and cared about what I had to say. Even though I was showing your work, I felt good about myself. Finally. For a moment, while I had that, I liked myself.
You've so infected my personal space that it's possible I did begin to plant solutions in my work somewhere, hidden between games. If there was an answer, a meaning, would it make you any happier? Would you stop taking my games and showing them to people against my wishes? Giving them something that is not yours to give, violating the one boundary that keeps me safe. Would you stop changing my games? Stop adding lampposts to them?
And then you stopped, and I didn't have anything left to show people. I just had to be with myself. And as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all. Nothing. Less than nothing. What does that mean?
Would you simply let them be what they are? When I'm around you, I feel physically ill. You desperately need something, and I cannot give it to you. I literally do not have it. Struggling to come up with new ideas is not making me depressed. Low points are just part of this process. The fact that you think I am frustrated or broken says more about you than about me. I realize that this doesn't make sense to you just yet. Which is fine. You're not my problem to solve. But I do hope that one day it clicks, and that you make peace with this thing you are wrestling.
I'm afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like myself.
When you finally see what I'm talking about, don't say anything.
That's why I'm releasing this collection of your work, is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you truly and deeply, will you start making games again? Please, I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in. I mean, is something wrong with me? Because I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, start making games again. Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work. You were complete in some way that I never was. And I want to know I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay. more. More love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more. It's like a disease. Solution. I guess if someone had told me ahead of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate. I wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed. Maybe he just likes making prisons. Even now, the disease is telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you.
This game is deep.
If I knew that my life depended on finding something to be driven by other than validation, what would that even be? It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like. What now? I think I need to go. And I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot that I need to make up for, and so I'm just gonna... Okay.
said, let me prove that I'm brave, let me keep going. But the cave goes for miles and miles and miles, and you're so tired, but I know that you're strong, so turn back, turn back.
Oh my god. I was not ready to be so sad. Oh. Oh. I don't even know what to say right now. What a story. I'm gonna take a break. I'll be back in a bit.